Hello, this is FoodOffensive.com's weekly video update. I am starting a whole new series here as we take a break from the special series I've been doing on sweeteners. And I wanted to look at a lot of the GMO things that are going on. I've been collecting various articles, various data concerning GMOs and what's going on currently. There's just so much information, and where do we start? I've been tracking some of these things, and one of the things that have come up, not really concerning GMO's effects on the body this time around, but what about their effect on tractor tires? Yeah, that's right. On this autoblog.com article I have, it's titled GMO Crops So Tough That Farmers Are Turning to Kevlar Tractor Tires. And the article goes on and it says, farming is one of the most difficult ways to earn a living. You'd think that with all the innovations mankind has developed over the centuries, we could make farmers' lives easier. But as it turns out, sometimes miracles of modern science make things tougher, literally. So it goes on to talk about genetically modified organisms. It says the main issue for those guys actually growing and harvesting the stuff is much more practical. As it turns out, corn modified to stand tall and tough against pests is also wreaking havoc on tractor tires. The article says Mark Newall of Farm Show magazine tells American Public Media's Marketplace that after the stalks are cut during the harvest, the leftover stubs are like, quote, having a field of little spears. So it goes on to talk about the tractor tires. Usually they last 5 to 6 years, but with this new crop, the GMOs, and harvesting them, it says they're getting chewed up after just 1 or 2 years. And one tractor tire can cost thousands of dollars, and some tractors have as many as 8 tires. Well, how does a modern farmer fight back against a genetically modified enemy intent on destroying the very thing his business rides on? The same way our military defends its enemies. Kevlar. And then it goes on to talk about the tires. It's a short little article here, but these things are tough on more than just our own bodies, and we'll look in the future videos here in the next couple weeks concerning the GMO studies that have come out, or that they're finalizing, French studies, things like that. But I wanted to point out one last thing in this article. It's right at the end, and you might miss it if you don't read all the way through, or just read through and be done with it. But it points out something, and it really led me down a different path, and it's the fact that it says the use of Kevlar in tires might seem extravagant, but in fact it's very appropriate. The material was invented in 1964 by DuPont during its search for a strong, lightweight material for, you guessed it, tires. Well, you might just pass that on and not think much about it, but think about what DuPont is. This could easily turn into a conspiracy here. The fact that DuPont also has agricultural divisions that make and develop genetically modified organisms, and the pesticides and things like that they use on them. And DuPont and Monsanto are constantly battling each other over the right to who gets to kill the American public quicker. But also the fact also that with the labeling measures that California has been trying to push through, which would be, as I looked at another video, is a very great thing for the rest of the country, because it's just the first step in getting the labeling that we want to know about, considering the fact that the majority of people that say that if they knew that a food was genetically modified, they would avoid it. Well, guess what that means? That's bad business for big agri and companies and big genetically engineering companies like Monsanto and DuPont, because they can lose a little business over this if people knowingly will not eat GMOs. And of course you're going to fight to keep the ballot from going through. Well, DuPont and Monsanto have both spent millions of dollars fighting the the GMO food label measures that are trying to be passed, that we are trying to pass in states like California. So it's just interesting the fact that the same company, obviously this was back in 1964, that they developed this strong lightweight material. For their intention was for tires. It's just interesting how it comes back full circle, and the business that they're in could very well be creating a need for another product that they just happen to develop and sell. So it's kind of interesting when you look at that, but I didn't even seek that out. It was just in this particular article that I covered here in this video, and from the autoblog.com, and there's many of other videos you could find, or many of articles you can see, and farmers needing Kevlar tires and so on and so forth. And at a time when this summer Walmart gave the go-ahead to spend money to purchase and to allow Monsanto corn in their stores, it's kind of fitting that we cover this and look at the other aspect that from the farmer's point of view. This is a crop that is genetically modified corn is a huge crop, and it's a crop that any farmer that grows GMO corn, they are entertained by Monsanto with the facts that, oh, you can get more yield, you're gonna get this much crop out of it, it's gonna be more pest resistant, it's gonna be a better yield for you, so on and so forth. And of course they try to say that it's safe for people. It's perfectly fine in their own studies that they do themselves, when in fact they won't even, scientists in their own headquarters and corporate buildings won't allow the genetically modified foods in their cafeteria. They refuse to eat them because they've done the testing and they know what's in it. So beyond that, I just wanted to cover the Kevlar tire issue. That seems kind of interesting, something that you might not have heard, or something that you might not have expected to come out of a genetically modified crop. We always look at the dangers to the body. Well, look at the cost that it's causing farmers. Is it a good trade-off? I don't think so. And but that's all I wanted to cover this week, and look forward to more videos on GMOs as it continues, and I will continue to cover those. And it's a pressing matter that, despite what I'm doing as a special, as a series of special reports that I like to do, whatever topic it might be, there's always going to be a place for GMOs, unfortunately, until we can really move the needle on this. And hopefully by getting the word out through my videos and others that are doing this, other resources that I use, that people would become aware of the dangers of these foods and cause them to be eradicated altogether. So until next time, this is foodoffensive.com coming at you from the front lines of our food supply. Thank you for joining me.